The spontaneous combustion of oily rags is being blamed for a fire that destroyed 2 city homes and caused over $1 million in damage yesterday in Paradise Canyon. Fire crews remain on the scene today, making sure there were no flare-ups under today's windy conditions. The blaze broke out just after noon on Sunday. Flames caught on the outside of one house and then were spread to the second home by a swirling wind in the space between the 2 buildings. No one was home at the time. There were no injuries. Investigators say it appears the fire was started by a combination of organic material and oily rags placed in a garbage bin.
That was oily rags that they were using to soak up the excess oil, and combination of the oil with the combustible material itself was contained in the garbage can on the west side. And with the garbage can being contained, the heat built itself up, and through oxidization created enough heat, and it got the material to its ignition temperature.
One of the homes destroyed in the fire was a former Stars Air Ambulance show home. The other was owned by a couple that had just moved in a few weeks ago. Neighbors did manage to rescue 2 restored vehicles that had been parked in the garage, but the fire spread so quickly there was little else they could do. Brendan Miller reports.
Witnesses say by the time they saw the flames, it was too late to save the homes.
You could hear glass breaking and cracking, and you could feel the heat from the fire on the driveways. Then the second house caught fire, and that's when the fire crew got here.
The good news, say fire crews, nobody was home in either house when the fire broke out. The bad news, there wasn't a chance to save the buildings.
Due to prevailing winds, our crews were unable to salvage the structures, so we quickly went to a defensive mode once we determined there was no occupants in the buildings.
People living in the West Lethbridge neighborhood poured out of their homes as the fire grew, pitching in to help.
Couldn't see a whole lot. It was all full of smoke. Couldn't see nothing at all. I was told that my neighbors came out over here and they helped with the garden hoses for a while to help keep the fire at bay until the fire department came.
It was really hectic. They were getting the hoses out, and like the whole time the windows were exploding, and smoke. There was a lot of black smoke coming up.
Once it became clear nobody was in danger, neighbors tried to salvage what they could before the flames spread further. Inside the garage of one of the burning homes were 3 classic cars.
They couldn't find the keys, so they just put the cars in neutral and rolled them out. And 2 of them, and then there was still one in the back.
Brendan Miller, CTV News, Lethbridge.
The warm, windy weather is now pushing the fire hazard to extreme levels in some parts of the province. This morning, the city of Lethbridge placed a fire ban on all open fires in the River Valley. The ban does not include private fire pits or the fire pits at the Bridgeview RV Resort. Also excluded, we have the stoves at the John Martin Centre, as well as the fire pit at the Elks Recreation Compound and the picnic shelter at Popson Park. Cypress County, which surrounds the Medicine Hat area, has also imposed a level 1 fire ban there.